Today, we are going to understand the mechanism of oogenesis in case of mammals by taking the example of humans. Before going into the details of mechanism of oogenesis, first we'll discuss about the primordial germ cells. So, these are the cells which are going to start the developmental sequence of female germ cells. So, gametes are derived from the primordial germ cells, and these primordial germ cells are formed in the epiblast. uh, there are two layers in the embryo, epiblast and hypoblast. So these primordial germ cells are formed from the epiblast layer during the second week of the pregnancy and move to the wall of the yolk sac. After uh, remaining some time in the yolk sac, in the fourth week, the primordial germ cell starts migrating toward the developing gonads. In this case, toward the developing ovaries, because we are talking about the oogenesis. Same process occurs for the process of spermatogenesis also. So during the fourth week of pregnancy we are talking about. So these PGCs starts migrating toward the developing ovary and arrive there by the end of fifth week, और फिफ्थ वक्त तक एग्जैक्टली वहाँ पहुँच जाती है जहाँ पे कि ओवरीज बननी है जो फीमेल फीटस है उसमें. So mitotic division increases number of primordial germ cells during their migration as well as in gonads while they are migrating from the yolk sac to the future ovaries. These primordial germ cells continuously under the process of mitosis. They keep on increasing their number by the process of mitosis while they are migrating as well as after reaching the ovaries. So अपना नंबर ये बढ़ाती हैं. जितनी प्रीमोडियल जम्स मूव कर रही हैं, सो जब मूव कर रही हैं तो भी वो डिवाइड करती जा रही है, नंबर इन्हांस करती जा रही हैं, और जब वो ओवरीज के अंदर पहुंच जाती हैं तो भी क्या कर रही हैं, दे आर कॉन्टिन्यूसली इन अ फेज ऑफ माइटोसिस. सो फॉर प्रेपरेशन ऑफ फर्टिलाइजेशन दी germ cells undergo gametogenesis. Now these primordial germ cells will ultimately change into the oogonium. So these oogonium is basically what? Female gametocyte which is going to form the gametes. So this primordial germ cell will change into the oogonium, and that oogonium will form the primary oocyte. This primary oocyte is the cell which is going to enter into the meiosis. So the process of gametogenesis, or you can say in this case oogenesis, is divided into meiosis and the cytodifferentiation parts. Meiosis is what? This is the reduction of chromosomes from 46 to 23 in case of human beings. And what is cytodifferentiation? It's differentiation in different kind of cells and formation of different kind of follicles. How the developmental sequences progresses from primordial follicle to primary follicle, primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary follicle, and ultimately to the Graafian follicle. So all these events are counted under the cytodifferentiation, and after that the maturation process is complete and there will be the formation of exactly the ovum we want for the further fertilization process. In the left side figure, you can see the embryo at the end of the third week of the pregnancy and showing the position of primordial germ cells in the wall of the yolk sac. And from the wall of this yolk sac, these cells starts migrating toward the developing gonad. And here we are talking about the oogenesis, so that developing gonad will be the future ovaries. And in the right hand side you can see the image which is showing the internal structure of uterus, ovary and uterine tube. You can see the structure of ovary in the red marked areas. Here different developmental stages of the follicles are shown which are going to produce ultimately the required ovum. So the process of oogenesis take place in the this rounded structure, we call it the ovaries. So oogenesis is a series of events by which the diploid oogonia, which are having the 46 number of chromosomes, are going to differentiate into the haploid mature egg, or we call it ovum, which is having the 23 number of chromosomes in the female reproductive organ. So the complete events which are going to form the haploid structure from the diploid oogonia. So that complete process is called the oogenesis, and this process of oogenesis is divided into the two major parts: the maturation of the oocyte before birth and maturation of the oocyte after birth. So there are two events. One event is happening before the birth and another is taking place after the birth. So when the primordial germ cells will move into the uh, ovary of the female, they will start differentiating here in the ovaries into the oogonia. Now these primordial germ cells are present into the cortical part of the ovary. The ovary has two compartments, cortical part and medullary part. So these cells are starting accumulating into the cortical part of the ovary. So after this oogonia are formed, these oogonia are what? These are the diploid structures, and these oogonia undergo a mitotic division. A number of mitotic division will be there to increase their number. अपने नंबर को इंक्रीज करती हैं. प्रिमोडियल जर्म सेल से क्या बना? oogonia बन गया. oogonia क्या है? फीमेल गैमेटोसाइट्स हैं. वो गैमेटोसाइट्स जिन्होंने कि अल्टीमेटली डिवाइड होके क्या बनाना है? एग म्योसिस में जाना है और एग प्रोड्यूस करना है. सो oogonia undergo a number of mitotic division, बहुत सारे mitotic division होंगे, and by the end of the third month of the pregnancy they get arranged into clusters surrounded by a layer of flat epithelium cells. अब oogonia क्या है? अपने सराउंडिंग फ्लैट एपिथेलियल सेल्स को लेयरिंग करना स्टार्ट कर देंगी. And these cells are both, these flat epithelial cells are both, these are follicular cells, or we call it the granulosa cells. So follicular cells or granulosa cells, these are the same things, and these cells originate from the surface epithelium which is covering the ovary. So oogonia are developing and multiplying inside the ovary, and here the epithelial cells later on makes a covering around these developing oogonia, and this complete structure is now called as the primordial follicle. And the cell which is inside the primordial follicle, which is going to enter into the meiosis, is now called as the primary oocyte. That oogonia which is surrounded by the epithelial cells, which are follicular or granulosa cells. Now that cell, that oogonial cell, is now called as primary oocyte, and the structure which is formed of a primary oocyte together with its surrounding flat epithelial cells, and these flat epithelial cells are what? Granulosa and follicular cells. That complete structure is called as a primordial follicle. In the left side figure, you can see the differentiation of primordial germ cells into oogonia, and which begins shortly after their arrival into the ovary, and by the end of the third month of development, some oogonia starts giving rise to the primary oocytes that enter prophase. These stages are shown here. These are primordial germ cells. The B stage is the oogonium, which is also the diploid structure, and C is the primary oocyte entering into the prophase. So this is the cell which is going to enter into the meiosis 1. So the developmental sequence will be like primary oocyte, after primary oocyte, primordial follicle, then primordial follicle will turn into the primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, and later on the last mature follicle, that we call it Graafian follicle, which is almost ready to rupture and release the ovum. In the right hand side of the figure, you can see the section of various segment of the ovary at different stages of the development. In the A part of the figure, oogonia are grouped into clusters in the cortical part of the ovary. So these rounded structures are oogonia, and which are present into the cortical part of the structures, and here these oogonia are continuously in the process of mitosis and increasing their number. In the B part of the figure, all the oogonia are transformed into the primary oocytes, and here they have entered already into the first meiotic division. In the C part of the figure, you can see the formation of primordial follicles. Here the primary oocyte is surrounded by a single layer of follicular cells, and these follicular cells are flat cells are present around the primary oocyte, and this complete structure, primary oocyte with surrounding flat follicular cell, is called as a primordial follicle. Now the oocytes have entered the diplotin stage of the prophase, and in which they remain arrested until just before the ovulation. मीन्स डिप्लोटीन स्टेज पे आके ये अरेस्ट हो जाएगा. जो oocyte है, प्राइमरी oocyte जिसने कि म्यूसिस स्टेज में एंटर किया है, म्यूसिस 1 जिसमें हो रहा है, सो दैट विल अरेस्ट एट द डिप्लोटीन स्टेज ऑफ प्रोफेज 1. okay, and that will continue its meiosis 1, and that will complete the meiosis 1 division after the maturity, when there will be the onset of the ovulation. So only then do they enter metaphase of the first meiotic division, when after the puberty, or you can say when there will be the onset of the ovulation. So process of maturation, which was arrested at diplotin stage of prophase 1, have now continues to complete at puberty, at the time of puberty, or you can say at the onset of the ovulation. So the primary oocyte remain arrested in prophase and don't finish their first meiotic division before puberty. puberty से पहले वो मेटाफेज में एंटर नहीं करेगा और केवल डिप्लोटीन स्टेज पे ही अरेस्ट हो जाएगा प्राइमरी oocyte. And this arrested state is produced by what? The chemical factors, a small peptide that is called oocyte maturation inhibitor, and this oocyte maturation inhibitor is produced by follicular cells or granulosa cells which are present around the primary oocyte. As primordial follicle begin to grow, now after puberty these primordial follicle starts growing and surrounding follicular cells change from flat to cuboidal. जो flat cells primary oocytes के around present थे, they started changing their shape from flat to the cuboidal, and they proliferate to produce a stratified epithelium. Stratified epithelium means more than one layer बना देंगे primary oocytes के around, जो कि पहले only one layer present थी, and the unit is called as a primary. So when the primary oocyte was surrounded by the flat layer, then it was termed as primordial follicle. When that flat layer of granulosa or follicular cell is turned into the cuboidal cell, then that structure is called as the primary follicle. After that, the cells which we call the follicular cells, they start multiplying or they start proliferation, and they increase their number, and later on form multiple layer around the primary oocyte, or you can say developing oocyte. So that multi-layered structure is called as a secondary follicle. Now the granulosa cells rest on the basement membrane, separating them from the surrounding ovarian connective tissue. granulosa cells के बाहर क्या होगी? एक नॉन सेलुलर लेयर प्रेजेंट होगी, जो कि क्या करेगी? डेवलपिंग फॉलिकल को रेस्ट ऑफ द कनेक्टिव टिश्यू जो ओवरी में प्रेजेंट है या फिर स्टोमल सेल जो प्रेजेंट है उनसे क्या कर देगी? सेपरेट कर देगी. After that, what will be the next stage? The granulosa cells and the oocyte secrete a layer of glycoproteins on the surface of the oocyte. खुद oocyte जो डेवलपिंग oocyte है, जो कि मियोसिस में एंटर कर चुका है, एंड ग्रेनुलोसा सेल्स जो कि एक लेयरिंग बनाए हुए हैं उस डेवलपिंग oocyte की, वो क्या करेंगे? दोनों केमिकल सब्सटेंसेस सिक्रीट करेंगे, और दोनों के बीच में oocyte और ग्रेनुलोसा सेल्स के बीच में एक नॉन सेलुलर लेयर डिपॉजिट कर देंगे, एंड दैट लेयर इज कॉल्ड ज़ोना पेलुसिडा. So zona pellucida is the non-cellular layer that is present between the developing oocyte and the granulosa cells. So as the follicle continues to grow, growth होती रहेगी उसकी follicle की, and cells of the theca folliculi, these are the cells which were present into the connective tissue around the granulosa cells. So that cells starting organizing themselves into the two layer, inner layer inner layer around the granulosa cells and outer layer around the inner layer which we call the theca interna. So two layers will be produced from the stromal cells of the ovary, theca interna and theca externa. Theca interna is just above the layers of the granulosa cells, and theca externa is above the theca interna cells. So later on, small finger-like processes of the follicular cells extend across the zona pellucida and interdigitate with the microvilli of the plasma membrane. जो oocyte है डेवलपिंग, उसके ऊपर क्या होंगे? माइक्रोविलाई फॉर्मेशन हो जाएगा, और सेम फिंगर लाइक स्ट्रक्चर अराइज हो जाएंगे ग्रैनुलोसा सेल से, और वो जोना पेलिसिडा को क्रॉस करते हुए कहाँ पे जाएंगे? डेवलपिंग oocyte तक जाएंगे. सो जो ग्रेनुलोसा सेल्स है एंड oocyte, वो एक दूसरे के साथ कम्युनिकेशन में रहते हैं, सर्टेन पैराक्राइन फैक्टर्स को रिलीज करते हैं. पैराक्राइन फैक्टर्स क्या होते हैं? द केमिकल मैसेंजर्स विच आर सिक्रेटेड बाय वन सेल एंड दे एक्ट ऑन नियर बाई सेल्स पे जाके एक्ट करते हैं. सो the paracrine factors are secreted by the oocyte. They will act on the granulosa cells, and in turn granulosa cells regulate the process of meiosis and the later on the growth of the follicle. So these processes are important for the transport of material from the follicular cells to the oocyte. और developing oocytes को क्या करेगी? certain substances जो उसको अपनी growth के लिए, अपनी maturation के लिए चाहिए, वो क्या करेगी? follicular cells उसको provide करती रहेगी. In the left side figure, you can see the embryo at the end of the third week of the pregnancy and showing the position of primordial germ cells in the wall of the yolk sac. And from the wall of this yolk sac, these cells starts migrating toward the developing gonad. And here we are talking about the oogenesis, so that developing gonad will be the future ovaries. And in the right hand side you can see the image which is showing the internal structure of uterus, ovary and uterine tube. You can see the structure of ovary in the red marked areas. Here different developmental stages of the follicles are shown, which are going to produce ultimately the required ovum. So the process of oogenesis take place in the this rounded structure, we call it the ovaries. Now, as the process of development continues, the fluid-filled spaces appear between the granulosa cells, and these small fluid-filled spaces later on starts coalescing with each other and form the large cavity, and that cavity is called antrum. And the follicle is now termed as the vesicular or the antrum follicle. Means vesicular means that the follicle which is having the large vesicle-like structure. Antrum means the space, any cavity. So the follicle which is having a large cavity inside is called as a antral follicle. Initially the antrum is crescent shape, but with time it enlarges. जब स्टार्टिंग होती है तो स्मॉल स्मॉल स्पेसेस होते हैं जो कि कॉलेस करके थोड़ा लार्ज बनाते हैं. तो इनिशियली क्या है, बिल्कुल स्मॉल होती है एंट्रल कैविटी और लेटर ऑन क्या हो जाती है, लार्ज कैविटी में कन्वर्ट हो जाती है. सो ड्यू टू द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ दिस एंट्रम, द ग्रेनुलोसा सेल्स सराउंडिंग द oocyte रिमेन इंटैक्ट एट वन साइड ओनली. एक साइड पे क्या होती है, पूरी कैविटी आ जाती है, और दूसरी साइड पे क्या होता है, जो oocyte है वो अटैच होता है ग्रेनुलोसा सेल से, एंड दैट पार्ट इज कॉल्ड द फॉर्म द क्यूमुलस oophorus. At maturity, the mature vesicular, this vesicular follicle is ultimately going to turn into the Graafian follicle, and this follicle is just about to rupture to release the uh, ovum. So in this image you can see the various stages of the growing follicle. So in A part of the figure, this is the vesicular, you can say antral stage of the follicle, and the oocyte here is surrounded by the red colored zona pellucida and is off centered because of the formation of this antrum. एक side cavity बनने लगी तो एक जो डेवलपिंग oocyte है या फिर प्राइमरी oocyte है, वो अनदर जहाँ पे कैविटी बन रही है उससे ऑपोजिट साइड्स पे एक साइड शिफ्ट हो जाएगा. सो बिकॉज ऑफ द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द एंट्रम. एंड इन द बी पार्ट ऑफ द फिगर हियर इज शोन द मैच्योर वेसिकुलर फॉलिकल दैट इज जस्ट अबाउट टू रप्चर, जो भी रप्चर होके रिलीज हो, रप्चर होके एग रिलीज करने वाला है. सो दिस स्टेज ऑफ द फॉलिकल इज कॉल्ड ग्राफियन फॉलिकल, एंड हियर यू कैन सी द एंट्रम हैज इनलार्ज कंसिडरेबली, बहुत बड़ा साइज हो गया है इसका, एंड इज फिल्ड विद द फॉलिकुलर फ्लूइड एंड इज सराउंडेड ऑल्सो बाय द stratified layer of granulosa cell से surrounded है, and the oocyte is embedded in a mound of another granulosa cells, and that is called cumulus oophorus. This cumulus oophorus is a structure which is formed by the granulosa cells which are present above the primary oocyte and uh, between the antrum and in fact the primary oocyte. So ultimately, when the follicle will be mature, a surge in the luteinizing hormone induces the pre-ovulatory growth phase. Surge means there will be increase in the concentration of LH hormone just before the ovulation, and meiosis 1 is completed, resulting in the formation of, there will be the formation of the two daughter cells. One is of large size, another is small size. Small size cell is called the polar body, you can call it the first polar body, and the other cell which is large in size is called the secondary oocyte. So the one cell that is secondary oocyte receive most of the cytoplasm, and the other, the first polar body, receive practically none. बहुत ही minute quantity जो cytoplasm की polar body में present होती है, और ultimately जो goal होता है for for the meiosis 1, that is just to reduce the number of chromosome to हाफ चाहिए हमें, और मैक्सिमम साइटोप्लाज्म हमें कहाँ चाहिए, जो है हमारा जो एग बनने वाला है उसमें चाहिए फॉर द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ further development after the fertilization. So the first polar body lies between the zona pellucida and the cell membrane of secondary oocyte के बीच में रहती है, और later on वो क्या करती है, disintegrate कर जाती है. Secondary oocyte है now that enters into the meiosis 2. So the cell then enters meiosis 2 but arrest in metaphase approximately 3 hours before ovulation. जैसे ही ovulation होने वाला होता है, egg rupture जो follicle है वो rupture होने वाला होता है to release the egg. सो ये जो मियोसिस है, मियोसिस 2 है, वो मेटाफेज स्टेज पे फिर से आके अरेस्ट हो जाता है, और ये अपनी जो मियोसिस 2 है डिवीजन तब कंप्लीट करेगा जब इसमें स्पर्म एंटर करेगा ड्यूरिंग द प्रोसेस ऑफ fertilization. So meiosis 2 is just completed only if the oocyte is fertilized. अगर fertilize हो जाएगा तो meiosis 2 complete हो जाएगा, क्योंकि fertilization एक trigger provide करेगी इसको complete करने के लिए. Otherwise the cell degenerates approximately 24 hours after ovulation. जैसे ही ovulation हुआ तो egg जो है approximate 24 hour और little bit more than that जो है live रहता है. After that it will start disintegrating itself. So this part of the figure is showing the maturation, various stages of the maturation of the oocyte. In the A part of the figure, the primary oocyte is in the division state and it is showing the spindle of first meiotic division. So here the first the cell is under the first meiotic division, and in the B part of the figure this is the secondary oocyte after completing the first meiotic division, and here you can see the presence of the first polar body between the zona pellucida and the primary now turned secondary oocyte. So the nuclear membrane here is absent and the genetic material is directly free into the nucleoplasm. The C part of the figure is showing the secondary oocyte which is forming the spindle for preparing itself for the second meiotic division. So here the first you can see the first polar body is also in the division state. Now see this figure, it is just the recapitulation of the process of oogenesis. In the left side of the figure there is shown the process of oogenesis, and in the right hand side of the figure there is shown the follicular development in the ovary. So the very first structure is primordial follicle, which is going to turn into the primary follicle, and that primary follicle is going to form the secondary, tertiary, and at last the mature Graafian follicle. Now the Graafian follicle is shown here in the ruptured state, and the ovum is released here. After releasing the ovum, this ruptured Graafian follicle is turned into a yellow body. We call it the corpus luteum, which is going to release the progesterone hormone for maintaining the pregnancy. In the left side of the figure you can see the primordial germ cells are under the stage of proliferation. They divide mitotically and increase their number while their migration to the ovaries from the yolk sac cells. So now the cells which are reached into the ovary are termed as the oogonium, and this oogonium is later on divide mitotically and enhance their number. They'll start increasing their number and ultimately form the primary oocyte. So primary oocytes are the cells which are going to enter into the meiosis 1, or you can say the reductional division. So primary oocyte by the process of meiosis 1 forms secondary oocyte, that is a large cell and which is having the most of the cytoplasm inside it, and the other cell is the first polar body that eventually degenerates. Now these secondary oocytes later on enter into the second meiosis division, and after the second meiotic division two cells will be produced, that is one is ovum and another is second polar body. But this division is arrested at metaphase 2 बिफोर ओव्यूलेशन. जब ओव्यूलेशन होता है तो जो रिलीज होती है स्टेट वो क्या होती है, सेकेंडरी oocyte की वो स्टेज रिलीज होती है जो कि मेटाफेज 2 पे अरेस्ट है. यहाँ पे meiosis 2 जो है कंप्लीट नहीं होता. मेटाफेज 2 की स्टेज पे जो है जो oocyte है वो रिलीज होता है ड्यूरिंग द ग्राफियन फॉलिकल रप्चर. अब जो ये रिलीज हो गया, आफ्टर दैट it will restart its division to complete the process meiosis 2 just after the fertilization, or you can say just after the sperm enter into the egg. After that it will eventually form the two cells, exactly one is ovum and another is a second polar body that is also going to degenerate, and this is the haploid structure we want for the further development, or you can say for the process of fertilization. So this was all about the process of oogenesis.